Yeah, we were so blessed that after having the blessing of working with Neeta and being with her tutelage for a while, and all of the beautiful people, Aish, all the beautiful people at her facilities, it became evident that this is a world service mission, that this is important for people to remember, because it's more than just about connecting with the energy. It's about what it ignites inside of you. And I smile because it reminds me so much of one of my first beloved teachers, Paramahansa Yogananda, that this was about a unification. It's a unification energy. Many years ago, Shri and I took a group to Egypt on a unification tour. We were in the headwaters of the Ganges, raising the Dome of Divine Protection back in 2005. We've traveled the world on sacred journeys, bringing this unified energy. And this is the piece. This is like the final piece of the puzzle. And I think the person to talk about it the best is Neeta.
Absolutely. She is standing by, and we want to bring her into the conversation here in a moment. I just want to say that it's a delight to reconnect with soul sisters, soul brothers, and spiritual family. And we're going to open up the phone line here, and we're going to go all the way over to India to bring Neeta into the conversation. And we are truly honored that technology is serving spirit in this way.
And before we bring her in, let me just share with you a little bit about this amazing woman. Neeta spent 10 years in her research. And, to her credit, she is a courageous, true pioneer of the Rudrashka science. There's so many different things. You can get so confused, just like with so many spiritual journeys. But Neeta was focused. She has a very, very powerful scientific background. So, of course, she brought that in. This wasn't just coming from an esoteric model. She also, through her own discoveries and the way that she discovered that you need to wear Rudrashka, what ones work best on what side of the body, the alignments, what the mukis really mean, diving into these, she did something, I think Shri was very courageous. In India, where, of course, this has the greatest understanding, or let's just say the greatest awareness among the general population, she had the courage to come forward and say, this has been manipulated. This is not being done correctly, and I'm going to have the courage and the tenacity and the spiritual wisdom to show you the way it should be done. And that was not easy for her.
Well, absolutely. Rather than just follow the dogma, she began to check it, back-check it, catalog it, and then go into deep meditation and ask for guidance. And the result of this spiritual quest is that she came up with what was revealed through her was a refinement on how to correctly use these gifts. And some of it flew in the face of tradition.
I think a lot of it did.
And other parts of it validated
yes.
the deep heritage
yes.
of this Hindu wisdom.
Yes, and so she is a courageous, beautiful woman who has really done a service for mankind, and it has been our blessing to spend time with her and to learn through her. And so I think without further ado, we should bring Neeta into the program.
Neeta, we are so delighted to be with you today, and so many people have been benefiting from the beautiful Rudrashka wisdom that has come forward from you. And we would like to explore a little further how this came to be. How did you come to recognize this ancient wisdom?
There must have been a point in your life where suddenly this became a passion or an overwhelming understanding from the divine. And so how did this happen for you?
Okay, thank you so much. Before I start this, I would like to say, Kira and Sriram, I'm very grateful that you have recognized the power of Rudraksha the way I did. And you are doing beautiful by spreading this message to the world. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's our honor.
So what happened, how I started this journey, Kira, that when I returned from Indonesia in the year 2000, so that was the time, when I came across these beads. And the more and more I started, getting curious about these beads, I read several holy books about them. And that really interested me to start a website to make people aware about Rudraksha. So that time, when I was reading the holy books, I was very surprised that in the ancient texts, they don't mention any taboo, and they mention several miracles of these beads. So because of this, knowledge, I started spreading this knowledge through the website initially. then after that, what happened was, then slowly, because of my scientific bent of mind, I started seeing that there should be some special way of using these beads, which will tap the actual power of the beads. And that led me to a journey where I started meditating and researching on the beads. And that took me about 3 to 4 years, where by the grace of Lord Shiva and all the divine spirits in this world, where I was able to understand how to actually tap the power of the Rudraksha beads as well as the gemstones.
So this, at that moment, through the communion in meditation and the knowledge that was revealed, you discovered how to place these on the body, where to wear them, which ones to use. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, actually how it started was quite different. What happened was that for a couple of years we were stringing Rudraksha the traditional way, because we found that there was a hole which was natural from the tree. So what we did was what was very logical, what other people were doing across several years. We just strung the beads, using thread or a metal wire, and we just strung them together and wore on the chest. But what happened was that, I used to find the clients were happy with the beads, but, they were not healed completely, and they were not, like, the being of a scientific bent of mind, I used to ask that when the religious books say that this particular bead cures this ailment or this particular bead attracts abundance in the life, why my clients are not 100% fit? Why they are not 100% satisfied? So that took me on a journey to study or research again about the correct way of stringing. So when I did that, then, I had to research on each bead one by one. I started placing the bead on my body chakra for a couple of days, and then, depending on whether the chakra got opened or I felt heaviness in the chakra, I started finding how the beads were associated with the chakras.
Beautiful, beautiful. And it takes both a scientific mind and an intuitive perception
Absolutely.
in harmony in order to come to that balance and know
So, I listened to your story, and it's so beautiful and so healing, and you've given so many gifts to so many people. How was it for you to be able to start sharing this with people? Because this was obviously very, very different than what most people believed. So how was it when you started sharing that? Was that something that you had to help people learn, or were they convinced simply by the results? What did it feel like when you started sharing this with the world?
Yes, initially what happened, Kira, that, when I discovered the beads worked on the chakra levels, so initially we were stringing the beads at the chakra levels, and it was only later I found that they could be placed in the form of bracelets also. And, it's not easy to convince people to wear bracelets or to wear beads strung this way, because people want to wear beads very comfortably in form of a mala, etc. But I was so firm on the results that I found, because I found that when you don't wear the beads in the right way, there was heaviness in the chakras, and definitely it was not comfortable. So for me, whether the client wanted or not, the right way of wearing was very, very important. And what I found was that rather than publishing it in the book or on the website, I found that when the client came to me with full trust, and I told him that, yes, this is the way I want you to wear. You trust me, and then you see the results. So the feedback I got from them was very encouraging.
Beautiful.
So then, that was the time when I decided that rather than publishing and making the whole world aware of the right way to use these miraculous beads and gemstones, it is the best way is I go forward with healers, practitioners, who understand, and clients can trust them, and clients will wear according to how they recommend. So this is the guidance I got, and that is how, I met wonderful people across the globe.
Beautiful. You know, the Rudrashka malas have been around for as long as I've been awake. and I have seen so many great teachers wearing them. However, what you have taught is a little different than I had ever been exposed to. And so it caused me, when I first was introduced to your work, it caused me to question, is this an advancement or is this a diversion? And before you respond to that, I want to say to you, I'm the kind of person that says, well, let me find out for myself.
Yes.
And so as I began to work with the beads, I went, oh, I understand now, because I feel more complete. I feel more energetically robust when I follow your prescription.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's true. And we have been seeing, pictures of the gods, even Lord Shiva himself, wearing the Rudraksha on the upper arm, on the wrist. So even the gods have shown, wear them all over, wear them on the waist, wear them on the head. But we never notice what we are seeing also.
Yes. Now, you have had the opportunity to work with many people over the years. Could you share with us a little bit about some of your successes? What have people improved in their lives?
See, basically, we meet varied kind of people. Like, there are people who are facing physical illness. So we found that these beads were excellent in cases where the illness was recurrent. Like, you had to tackle the problem from the root. Like problems like migraines from childhood, or problems like recurrent cold, cough, blood pressure, which, cannot be cured by traditional medicines. So Rudraksha, I found that because it deals with the level of the chakras, and once the chakra is healed, the disease gets cured from the base level. So one is, in physical health, we found a lot of benefits, although we never advertised the physical benefits. So, and secondly, for emotional problems, for cases like depression, emotional instability, we found that the clients benefited immensely. They felt more complete, they felt more contented, they felt more with themselves. So it helped in emotional cases also. And since, what you are within is what you experience outside. So once, people were emotionally healthy, physically healthy, they definitely manifested abundance, good relationships in the outside world. So it came as a byproduct.
Yes. So many people seek abundance as a goal, but what they're really seeking is harmony and inner peace. And then the abundance comes. And so, the Rudrashka beads are actually living gifts that have been bestowed to us.
Yes.
And you also teach a lot of information about the use of sacred gemstones. Could you talk a little bit about how these work and how they work together?
Yes. See, the thing is that, we have got basically two types of chakras in the body. One type of chakra is what we can say that chakra which connects us to the outside world. And one type of chakra is what connects the outside world to us. So we have chakras in the front of the body, which is how we interact with the world. And we have chakras at the back of the body, which is how we perceive the world interacting with us. So Rudraksha beads, they heal the front chakras, and gemstones heal the back chakras. So today, if a client has an issue that the world doesn't support me, or I don't meet the right kind of people in my life, or I am not attracting enough abundance, then he needs to wear the gemstones of those chakras. But if a client feels, that he needs to heal himself from within, he feels that I am not enough, I am not giving enough output to the world, or he's judging himself, or he feels weak in some aspects of life. So to empower himself from within, he needs to wear the Rudraksha beads. So they work in partnership.
Yes, especially as you just explained about the front and the back and the receiving and the giving.
Yes.
I fully understand what you're saying, and I want to just suggest to our listeners that we're dealing with a subtle energy that truly must be experienced.
Yes.
You know, the
Yeah.
mind can accept that we would have a benefit. However, when we experience the benefit, then we are more robust. We're simply better at being ourselves.
Yes, very true. And basically, we can say that we have to allow the energy. Rudraksha beads and gemstones, one just needs to surrender to the healing energy, and then they do the work of cleansing your chakras, of attracting good people in your life, for attracting, opportunities in your life. You just need to surrender, and they will work for you.
Beautiful.
That is
beautiful.
so true.
And the other thing I want to comment is the jewelry that uses the sacred ratna, the gemstones, is so beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And in conjunction with the malas, with the bracelets, we have found a way to adorn ourselves, adorn the temple of the divine in a way that's not only beautiful, but is balancing and brings harmony into our lives. And I'm very grateful for this.
Yeah, truly. You know, Neeta, we are so grateful that you have been on the show with us today. And as we say goodbye to you today, we would love to have you just share, if speaking to the world right now, what would you want them to know about Rudrashka Ratna?
Basically, I would like to say that Rudraksha beads, they are very powerful, in the way that they release your fears. And the only obstacle in a human's life is fears and limitations. We have to realize our true being. We have to realize who we truly are. And these beads, which are the gift of Lord Shiva, are basically meant to make you release your fears and realize the empowered being that you are. So that is my message to the world, that you have to know who you are, and there is an immense potential sitting inside you waiting to be revealed.
Thank you so much, and namaste, because that is such a beautiful blessing to give to everyone and for everyone to receive. And I know that Shri and I can certainly attest to the fact that I have my beads. It's the first thing I put on in the morning, the last thing I take off at night, and I notice the difference.
Yes. I have clients, they say that I have stopped wearing my gold and diamond jewelry. All jewelry I want is only Rudraksha and Ratna.
That's so true.
Yeah,
I'm one of them.
No, I fully understand this now, because not only is it beautiful, it is balancing and healing. And I have myself noticed I'm much more available to be of service in the world. And so, Neeta, thank you for spending this time with us today. We are truly grateful, and we wish only the best for you and your family. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm honored. Thank you so much.
I always enjoy when Neeta's with us. I'm so grateful we could all get together with her. Why don't we bring our hands to our heart and just take in a deep, conscious breath. And in this moment, I want you to feel as if Shri and I are draping a beautiful Rudrashka mala around your neck right now. And I want you to receive that gift, take in a breath, and just go, there you are. Feel the energy, feel the love. It's like carrying a love and a hug with you. And I'm so excited, Shri, because 1 week from this Tuesday is our very first class where we're going to be teaching this live. It's the first and only time Shri and I will be actually teaching this live. It's a series of 3 teleclasses. It's $22. If you have not yet joined, click on the button. If you're at Shri and Care Radio, click on the button right there that says Discover Ancient Rudrashka Science, or go to shriandkira.com. You'll see it right there on the homepage. Or go to www.guatemala.chakrayog.com, and you'll see it there as well.
Well, there's truly a wealth of information and documentation, and it's a delightful conversation to have. We look forward to you joining us. And speaking of delightful conversations, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for having offered your love and attention as we've shared with you today. There's so much going on in our world right now, and sometimes it can seem like, a lot. It's important to recognize that your soul knows the way. Inside of you are the codes. Inside of you is the love and the divine connection. And our job, and I think all of our jobs, is to help each other awaken, to help each other remember the love that we are inside. And this is truly the magic of spiritual community.
Well, especially as we're in this year of ascension. You know, today it was about ascension and ancient science. And as you navigate all of January, as you navigate all of 2015, it's important to remember that we are collectively at a moment in our human history that has not been before. We are at a moment of rapid escalation. There is energy that is available for those that are choosing to connect with it. And there are tools that are available to help that connection be more grace-filled, more ease-filled. And this is the blessing of our technology without, going to the abuse side of technology, that this ancient science is now being proven, that we're getting rid of the manipulations, that telephone game is unraveling, and we're starting to see the purity again. We're starting to see the beauty again if we choose to. And I know that you're listening to this show because you choose to.
Absolutely. So, beloved listeners, we're at that time where I invite you to bring a hand to your heart and a smile to your face. Take a deep breath and simply remember, all is truly well. See you next week.
Thank you for joining us at Shri and Kira Live. To have your questions answered, send us an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com and check out more information at shriandkira.com. See you next week. Namaste.